Good morning and welcome to Infinite Biomedical Technologies presentation at Baltimore Innovation Week. And today we'll be talking about our innovations in the upper limb myoelectric prosthesis industry. My name is Damini Agarwal. I'm the Director of Product Development at IBT, and I will be walking you through our journey today. So a little bit about myself. I'm originally from India. I was born and brought up in Calcutta or Kolkata. I did my bachelor's in biomedical engineering with a minor in computer science from VIT University. Did my master's in biomedical engineering from Hopkins, and since then have been working with IBT. I started out as a biomedical engineer, and today I work as the Director of Product Development and oversee our translational efforts from research proof of concept to market-ready technology. I oversee our production and manufacturing, as well as our regulatory and quality compliance. So a quick overview of IBT. This company was founded in 1997. Over the years, we've received over 10 funded grants from various organizations that support our research and development activities. We've served more than 3,000 patients with our technology in over 31 different countries, won numerous awards, and all of our products are FDA cleared or CE marked medical devices. So we'll, as the presentation or as the title of the presentation indicates, we'll be walking through IBT's journey from when we started to what we are doing now. So we were founded in 1997 by a professor at Hopkins, Dr. Nitish Thakur, and his student, Dr. Anant Natarajan, who found that there were major gaps in attempts to translate medical research into market-ready technology. And that was the primary aim behind which IBT was founded, was to pursue translational research and move products from bench to bedside. It was in 2009 where we made the pivot to the upper limb myoelectric prosthesis industry specifically. And now let's, before we move ahead, I think it'll be important to understand what a myoelectric prosthesis is. So what you see in front of you is the typical structure of a myoelectric prosthesis. As the name suggests, it is a prosthesis that's driven by electrical signals from muscles from the residual limb of a patient's arm. The structure of a prosthesis looks similar to what you're seeing on your screen. You have an inner flexible socket that the electrodes or the sensors that pick up those muscle signals are built into. Those electrodes connect to a controller, which houses an algorithm or the processor that makes sense of those signals and conveys the information to electrically actuated hands, wrists, and elbows. And all of this is obviously powered by batteries. So more simply, when you pick up signals from the human body in the form of muscle signals, that is then fed into a control algorithm for decoding or for interpretation, which eventually provides the signals to drive hands, wrists, and elbows. So to put it very simply, electrodes provide information that leads to control. And then here is a video of one of our patients using our technology to control her prosthesis. So now that you have a general overview of what prosthesis comprises of, I will now walk you through all the different products that IBT builds and has built over the years, using a combination of cutting-edge techniques to serve the limbus community. So our first product was launched in 2011. It was our FlexCell battery system, which you can see on your screen now. This was a game changer in our industry because it was the first ever flexible battery solution in the myoelectric prosthesis industry. As you can see, as you saw in the picture before, there were numerous constraints that we work under in a prosthetic arm. The first being there isn't a lot of space Second being things can't be very heavy. And the third being they cannot, they're powered off of battery systems, so they can't be very power hungry. And all of our products revolve around these core concepts. So for the flexible battery system, we were trying to address all of these three things. The first was to make it as thin and low volume as possible. So you can see the form factor. There's very thin rectangles that can be bent, so they conform to the shape of the prosthesis, allowing for more optimization of space. They're not very heavy. Each of them is very light, again, adding to the initial or solving the initial constraint of not making the prosthesis heavy. And then with regards to battery capacity, these cells can provide a total power of up to 2200 milliamp hours, which is more than sufficient to last more than 8 hours of use of a prosthesis, thus meeting our last constraint. These remain the most popular and highly used batteries in the industry even today. The next part of our journey led to the launch of our electrodes. So if you see the prosthesis, when we looked at the structure of a prosthesis, you have the electrodes, the controller, and the batteries. So our first product was the batteries. From there, we decided that we needed to design the electrodes to better meet the constraints that our industry faces. And that led to the launch of our element electrode system, which, as you can see from the picture in front of you, are very thin, very low profile, and currently are the thinnest cased electrodes in the market. In addition to that, these were the first electrodes that used digital signal processing for picking up muscle signals and for advanced noise rejection and signal quality modification, which again made us a market leader in meeting the constraints that our industry faces. And then we saw that with the electrodes, with our electrodes, I think the next optimization that we wanted to make in the industry was in the realm of control systems. And we found that there's two kinds of control systems that existed in the market. One was a two-side system where each electrode that you saw in the image previously mapped to two different muscle types on the arm and provide two distinct signals for controlling the prosthesis, which is great when you're controlling only a hand. But when you start adding a wrist, things start to get complicated because you have two signals that you're now trying to control 4 movements with. So there's different combinations of signals that you need to generate. And it gets even more complicated when you add an elbow in, because now you have 6 different movements of elbow bend, extend, wrist move, wrist rotation in 2 directions, and hand open and close, that you only have 2 control signals for, which led us to think that there had to be a more elegant solution to be able to drive prosthetic components more intuitively by the patient. That led to the launch of our son's pattern recognition system. Pattern recognition combined the advances in our electronic hardware, such as our low-profile electrodes and low-profile controllers, with advances in high-end algorithm design, in which up to 8 electrodes pick up signals from the user's residual limb and convert them into hand, wrist, and elbow movements without needing switching technologies, by basically training a pattern recognition system that learns over time what your signals mean and what you're intending to do with them. This makes the process more intuitive because now the user imagines what they are trying to do with their phantom limb, and the prosthesis behaves the same way. This was also a game changer because over the last 5 to 10 years, prosthetic components, so hands, wrists, and elbows, have undergone a lot of advancement, and they're capable of a lot more features. However, the limitation that exists in the industry is in the form of control algorithms and systems. So a controller or a control algorithm that allows use of those expanded features that exist in hands, wrists, and elbows became a necessity. Our Sun system is now the second most popular system in the myoelectric prosthesis industry. and is available globally. The other thing that we realized as we were working with traditional industry practices is that when we adopt more advanced control systems, the user training or therapy that is associated with learning how to use the systems changes. As a result of which we went and developed the MyoTrain virtual training environment, which allows the patient to practice without their prosthesis, to understand how to use the system before they even have the system, which we found breaks down the cognitive burden associated with learning how to use a complex algorithm and makes adoption easier. To give you an analogy, it's similar to learning how to drive a car without buying the full car at first. And then as of today, in 2021, we've served over 3,000 users globally, and we're extremely proud of it. But that leads to the question of what's next for IBT. Given COVID has accelerated remote medicine in a lot of different industries, and the prosthesis industry is no different in that sense, which is why we believe that our next set of efforts are going to be tailored towards automation and telemedicine in the prosthesis industry. Currently, the prosthesis clinical care is a very customized in-person experience. And this is where IBT hopes to, again, revolutionize the industry in setting up a system so that you can now you can provide the same level of customized care, but remotely. And then again, similar to other medical device industries, we believe that data and AI-driven medicine can further provide additional customization in this field and can help practitioners make data-supported clinical care decisions. All of this would not have been possible if we had not been in Baltimore City, so White Charm City. And there are numerous reasons why I think Baltimore itself contributes to IBT's success. The first, of course, being there is a booming and close-knit techno-entrepreneurial community, which for a small company like IBT provides a lot of different resources that wouldn't have otherwise been available. We work at Spark, the co-working space in downtown Baltimore, and that has definitely helped us in gaining access to resources. The other aspect, of course, is our continued collaboration with Johns Hopkins University, both in terms of academic research-based sharing as well as hiring interns and employees. That was also, that is also significantly supported by the Venture for America program, which has Baltimore City as one of the supported cities in that program, which I think also has helped in IBT's success today. In addition to that, close proximity to Washington, D.C. and the National Institutes of Health as well as FDA has definitely helped us in continuing to meet our mission and vision of creating technology for those with limb loss. And additionally, we are, Baltimore is well placed on the East Coast. It is close to a lot of different transportation options. It is close to a lot of different high population cities, as well as very close to a lot of different prosthetic clinics that allow us to interface regularly with our practitioners and patients. None of this would have also been possible without our magic makers, a very wonderful team of enthusiastic engineers, clinicians, researchers that work very cohesively together to convert our vision of creating technology solutions for constraints in the upper limb myoelectric prosthesis industry into reality. And that brings me to the end of the presentation. I would be more than happy to answer any questions at this